Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, everybody, we are back. And I am joined by Jerrica Glaeser. And Jerrica has been teaching us a lot about massage, therapeutical massage. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, in case the listeners missed the first one, maybe you can just give us a brief kind of review on what we learned a little bit last show and about what a massage therapist does.
Okay, that was a week ago, so let's see if I can remember. So massage therapist, they're there for you to focus on your needs for your muscles. They really help with your pain, and they should never be causing you pain. There's always that healthy balance of hurts so good and oh no, please don't.
I got you. And now, where's your practice?
It's in Newport Richey, Florida.
Okay, and how do people get a hold of you?
They can call 727-300-2668, or you can always go to trinitytm.com. That would be trinitytm as in therapeuticmassage.com.
Now, how do you know, you got a great topic today, and we're going to get into that in a second, but I just have one question. How do you know when it's definitely time for a massage, when it could be something else? For instance, like say like a blood clot or something like that. That's something that you wouldn't touch and massage, would you?
Correct. No, if you are somebody who has blood clots, that would be counterindicative of what you want to do. You don't want to have any massage therapy whatsoever. You want to make sure that that's taken care of with your doctor, and avoid massage therapy until your doctor clears you.
Because you can make it worse, right?
Yes, you could dislodge the blood clot and it could get into your system, and then that would be all kinds of bad.
Yeah, right. Well,
but if you're just feeling sore or tight in general, then massage therapy is the way to go.
Okay. So you brought up today the client and therapist relationship, and that's real important to you, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's very important that clients understand that it's not the therapist running the session. We do know what we're doing, but we only know what we're doing based off of what you tell us. So it's that major communication that you guys need between each other. The client has control of the whole session. If they're feeling uncomfortable or they're not liking what you're doing, they can just absolutely speak up and say, "Hey, I'm done. Can we just end the session now?"
Yeah, I remember that happened to you one time, and you were too self-conscious or whatever to say anything. So you just endured the pain because you're tough.
No, definitely not tough. I endured the pain because I was a little stupid, even though I knew I could have said something and I didn't. And I definitely should have, because the pain afterwards was a lot worse.
Right. Now, what are some of the things that a client should feel comfortable telling the therapist?
They should feel comfortable telling you anything, anything that's related to massage in general or your body. If there's something going on, we need to know. Even while the client is just laying on the table and they just want to tell you about anything that happened in their life, you should feel comfortable doing that with your massage therapist, because we're there mostly to work your muscles, but we're also there to listen to you during it, because massage therapy can actually help you overcome any mental problems that you might have, something that was traumatic for you previously in your life. People like to talk about stuff like that, and it can really help you get through it.
So when you're working on someone and they're talking to you, can you feel their body change when they bring up maybe a trauma or something that might be bothering them? Can you feel that?
If you're working on a certain part of the body, where they're holding the most of that emotion, absolutely. You can feel them tense. And as you're working it and they're talking about it, you can just feel the muscle completely release and relax. And you can even see the difference from side to side. If you're working one side first, the other side is still tense while the other side is completely relaxed.
Oh, so that talk therapy along with the massage is very effective, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And it is Is that a common practice during massage?
Yes, it just depends on the client. Some people love to talk. Talking during their session actually relaxes them more. Or like me, I hate talking. I just want to lay there and I just want to feel better.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
it depends on the person. Sometimes talking is actually better for them. And if you have a good massage therapist, they'll go along with whatever you do first.
Okay. What are some things that you should discuss with your therapist before you do a session with a massage?
If you have any recent injuries or surgeries, if there's any possibility of pregnancy, and your medications. It's very important that we know what kind of medications you're on, because if you just took a pain med and then we give you a massage, it's going to hit you a lot harder, and we're not going to know if you're in pain or not. So, like I said before, massage shouldn't hurt. But if you are on pain medication, you're not knowing if it's actually hurting you or if it's helping you.
So you shouldn't take any pain medication. That's number one.
If you're getting a deep tissue massage, correct. If you're just getting a simple relaxation, that could be okay because you're not doing any deep pressure. You're not focusing on areas, you're just relaxing them. If you are on any other medication, like if someone gets any kind of shots, you want to avoid that area because massage can actually spread that medicine even faster into your system, opposed to just getting the shot and leaving it alone.
And along with the client therapist relationship, can they become friends, or is that inappropriate?
So that would be inappropriate. You can have that working relationship of friendship, which is absolutely fine. But friendship could be okay. It's just you have to make sure that there is that distinction of it's based off of our business, that's strictly what this is. You shouldn't really involve it anywhere outside of business.
Okay. And is it okay to make small talk when you're with your therapist, when you're getting a session?
Oh, absolutely. You can just talk about anything as long as the therapist is comfortable with it. Because it is a two-way street. If your therapist is uncomfortable with it, then they'll try to steer the conversation elsewhere, or they'll let you know. Because again, we want the clients to tell us everything that's wrong with, like, anything that's going on with the session. But the therapist can say, "Hey, I'm a little uncomfortable with this topic. Can we switch to something else?"
Right. Are there some therapists that prefer, hey, no talking, let me do my job? They're not going to say it like that, but you know what I mean.
But personally, do you feel that way? Absolutely. So for me, I actually do kind of feel that way.
Okay.
I would love
Concentrate on what you're doing.
I would love to concentrate on what I'm doing. If you want to talk real quick, like have a little chat, I'm okay with that. But to talk the whole time, I really don't like to do that because I feel like you're not getting the best massage from me if I'm not focusing on what I'm doing.
Got you. And what about like the use of the oils and the tricks, the tools of the trade here? You never want to go against a dry body, right? You always want to have some kind of smoothness in there or something. Tell me about it.
No, there's actually quite a few techniques that you do without any oil or lotion at all. If you do use any lotion, it would be like very minimal because you don't really want to move on some of them. So like there's a technique for the neck. It gets like right at the base of your skull and your neck. It gets you all the way up to the top of your trapezius muscle, almost all the way up to the top. But it's a great move, and you don't want any lubricant whatsoever on it, because all you're doing is putting your fingers in, and then you're just kind of moving them slightly. And if you have any lubricant, then you're not really getting a good grip on them.
I see. So you're actually moving, what are those, tendons or muscles? What is that?
It's the muscles. So your trapezius, it goes all the way from the base of your skull, it goes out to your shoulders, and then it goes down most of your back. Not all the way down, but most of it.
Okay. And because I know you specialize in neck and back, that's your specialty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what are some other things that are important in the relationship between the client and the therapist?
I know communication is what I always say. Um, you need to feel comfortable opening up to your massage therapist. So your first session is always going to be awkward. I don't care who you are, it's going to be awkward because you're getting into a room and you're taking your clothes off, even though they're not in there. You're taking your
Right.
clothes off and you're getting underneath the sheet. So it's going to be weird. But being able to tell them anything going on with you beforehand is important. And then after you see them a few times, you guys get a little bit more comfortable with each other and you're able to talk about, hey, I actually have problems in my hips, my hip flexors. They hurt a lot. So some therapists, they don't feel comfortable working so close to the groin area. But after you've seen them a couple of times and you're a client and you say, hey, I do this. I run a lot. I do a lot of stretching and this is what happens to me. Then the therapist can understand you've seen them a couple of times and they'll be able to help you. Um, as long as you don't use certain words like private area, anything like that. If you use the technical muscle terminology, then therapists are super comfortable working on you in those areas.
Okay. So say someone's looking for a massage therapist. What are some things that they should ask the therapist to know that they're on the level and they're a good fit for them? How do you know?
So that would be based on what you want. What are your massage goals? So if I'm looking for a massage therapist and it's for my neck and my low back, I'll ask them specifically, hey, I've been in multiple car accidents. I've had these surgeries. Are you able to help those areas for me? Because this is what I need. And I can't find anyone else who's doing it for me, kind of thing. Like, it, just be completely honest. Tell them, hey, like me, I'm about to call somebody soon and say, hey, I'm desperate. Can you do something for me?
Mhm. I got you. And how should someone feel right after a massage, or is it different every time?
It'll be different based on what kind of massage. So if you're just doing a relaxation massage, you're going to feel like an all over body relaxation. You're going to be able to just take that deep breath and just feel okay. You're going to feel fine and you're going to get some great sleep later on that night. If you're going in for specific pain, like if it for a neck, if I see people who come in and their shoulders are up after you do a massage where you're working the entire neck, you can just see them like come out and they're like, they throw their head back and they just take a deep breath and they roll their shoulders and they just, you can see that they feel better. And then they'll come out and tell you it as well. They're like, wow, I can just move more now.
Nice.
So that's how you'll feel afterwards, depending on what your goals are. And as long as you have a therapist who knows your goals and knows how to work with them, they'll be able to help you feel that way.
All right. I'm going to go to the questions with Mr. Producer in a second here, but right before I do that, I wanted to ask you: is there anything a client can do? Because a lot of maybe it's their first time and they don't know. Besides common courtesy, what are some do's and don'ts before you get your first massage?
Some do's and don'ts. Definitely show up 10 to 15 minutes early because you never know when you're going to have to use the bathroom beforehand.
Okay.
um, don't ask about the draping policy
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that'll be inappropriate.
Right.
And if it's your first time, tell the therapist when you're booking the appointment, like say, hey, I've never had this massage before and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to act or anything. Just be honest. And as long as they are a good massage therapist, they'll be able to talk you through everything.
Hmm. And
Like, my first time clients are my favorite.
oh yeah.
I love being able to tell you everything to expect.
Okay. And what about a girl going to get a massage? Does she go with a girl? Does she go with a guy? Does a guy go with a girl? Does that matter? Is that a big thing? What talk to me about that? Because I'm sure some people are concerned about stuff like that, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's whatever the client is comfortable with. If you don't want to see a guy just because, again, you're getting into a room, you're getting naked and getting under the sheet,
Yeah.
that's fine. that you don't want to see a guy you're uncomfortable. Male therapists can have a more difficult time, but as long as they're professional, they have no difficult time whatsoever getting clients. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to only see a female massage therapist, then that's fine. But that's up to you. You are the client. You have a say in who you get to see.
Have you found that that's an issue with your clients, or do most people not care about that?
I'm a female, so nobody cares about that with me. Usually they are okay with seeing me. The only thing that they have concerns for is I'm really small. I'm under 5 foot. So if they want a really deep massage, they think I can't provide that, but I can't.
I think it would be quite the opposite, because you told me, so I get in with my elbows, I get in with my
Mhm.
you
It's all about using your body
technique.
weight and the different tools of your body.
I got you. Yeah, I think you'd surprise that person.
One of the places I've worked, I was known as the deep tissue queen.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Well, what type of massage do you like to give the best?
Deep tissue. Yeah.
Deep tissue is.
Yeah. So you in different modalities are under that umbrella of deep tissue. So I'll throw in different ones depending on what you need, but I love focusing on that specific area. It's like, oh, okay, my neck and all the way down to my shoulder blade hurts. All right, I'm going to focus on there. I'm going to get in there and you're going to feel so much better afterwards.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. And what does it do to your body because that takes a lot of pressure, a lot of work, right?
If you're doing it wrong, it does. So
Ah,
there's body mechanics that we learn while we're in school. So we learn how to squat while we massage. As you're moving your arm down, your whole body needs to be going with it. You want to straighten your arms, you want to lean in. You're not using your muscles to add pressure, you're just leaning and using your body weight.
so it's all technique, and bad technique
Yes.
will make you tired.
Exactly. With my low back pain that I always have, I learn very quickly if I'm not doing anything correctly, and I
Understood.
correct it while I'm doing it.
Understood. All right, let me go to the excuse me. Let me go to the audience. Mr. Producer, what do you got, my man?
We have Nicole in LA wants to know if there is a sign that a personal relationship is forming, should the therapist recommend a new one for their client?
So it depends. If it's becoming just a regular friendship, it is okay as long as it's not affecting that client therapist relationship that you have. If, let's say, you are a female therapist and you have an attractive male client and you guys are getting close and you want something more to happen, then you need to absolutely sever ties and say, I can no longer see you as a client. You don't have to tell them why unless you do want to tell them why and have things happen afterwards. But as soon as it goes into more than just that client therapist relationship, you should cut ties and refer another massage therapist that you know will be able to help them.
Okay, good question. Good question. Thank you for that.
Mike in Dallas says, how many sessions can it take to develop a strong relationship with a client?
That would depend on both the personalities of the client and therapist. If you want a strong relationship in the essence of massage therapist and client, it could happen by the end of the first session. If you're one of those talkers and you have a therapist who is really good at going off of that, then you guys could have a really nice session and be absolutely like best friends in that essence of that relationship by your next session.
See, good question. Good question.
We have an anonymous says, is it inappropriate to bring in people in your personal life as clients?
No, absolutely not. As long as if you guys are already friends beforehand, you can make that distinction between client and therapist and not talk about any of their sessions outside of that, then you are perfectly fine. Like I massage my mom all the time and she tells everybody that I massage her all the time. So there's no problems with me telling you that. My mom thinks I'm a fabulous massage therapist and that's why she comes to see me and tells everyone about me. If you can just make sure you understand that that person is a friend outside of work, but then they're a client in work, That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's the boundaries. That's real important.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned some people like to talk. Are there certain topics that, I mean, I would think it's common sense that you don't talk about politics, right?
You would think.
Right. Oh, have you had an instance?
I absolutely do. There's always, what is it? Politics, religion,
Yeah.
and something else. I think you just never talk about, but people bring it up. And even if I don't agree or I do agree, I just try to keep my answers as short as possible
Yeah.
because I don't want to get into that with my clients. I feel like those are inappropriate topics, but I'm comfortable with making small comments here and there until we can switch the conversation.
Gotcha. It's true pro. All right, we got one more question. Time for one more.
We have Brian in Connecticut says, can one bad massage ruin the relationship between a therapist and a client?
I would say it could if it was the very first or maybe second massage you've had with them. I've definitely had it where I was completely uncomfortable towards the end of the massage, and then I just never went back. And
Right.
I was uncomfortable even telling them about it, which I shouldn't have been. But if you've been seeing them for a while and then you've just had one bad massage, just say, hey, I don't know what happened, but I just didn't feel like that was the same kind of massage I've gotten. Maybe your therapist was having a bad day, or I don't know. There could have just been something that happened. So if you've had that rapport with them and if you've seen them for a while, one bad massage isn't going to ruin that. Just make sure you let them know, I don't know what happened, but it wasn't as good as all of your others.
Yeah, it seems like it always comes back to this communication.
It always does.
Right.
Mhm.
So, okay, Miss, we do one more. Okay, we got one more.
We have Alyssa in Los Angeles wants to know, does all of your training make it easier for you to know who a good massage therapist is?
Yes. So I've seen plenty of people where they've given me a good massage, but not the massage that I wanted. And that could have been because I didn't communicate exactly what I wanted enough for them. But most massage therapists are really good at least the basics of massage. But if you're looking for something more targeted, like what I do for chronic low back and neck pain, then you got to make sure you ask that therapist, hey, is this what you are experienced in? Can you help me? And if they're not, then they're going to tell you. Like I've had someone who specifically wanted a lymphatic drainage massage for something. And can I do lymphatic? Yes. But if I'm not comfortable in what you're wanting, then I will tell you, nope, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. I would not be the best massage therapist for you.
Got it. Always a pleasure. Thank you for everyone that wrote in. Jerrica, can you please take the last word? Let us know how to get a hold of you and anything you want the audience to know. And another great job. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Yes, if you need to get a hold of me, please call me at 727-300-2668. And you can always go to my website, trinitytm.com. That's trinitytm as in therapeuticmassage.com. And please, if you feel uncomfortable at all with getting a massage and it's your first time, just call them up and ask all of your questions that you need answered. Or just talk to me and go see another massage therapist. I will happily answer everything for you.
All right. Jerrica Glaeser, everybody, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.